as you can see, fairly recent here. Mr. Friedman here is the county attorney. Mr. Stabosz is the county auditor for LaPorte County. This was obviously filed in St. Joe County to avoid any sort of conflict of interest with judges. Defendant is the newly elected auditor, immediately proclaiming himself the chief integrity officer of the county. And that's just ridiculous when compared to the plaintiff, who serves at the invitation of the commissioners. Anyway, serves at the invitation of the commissioners, sworn into office, elected, serves at the invitation of the people. False statements implying, among other things, criminal acts and professional misconduct. Professional misconduct should be distinguished from official misconduct, which is a statutory felony under Indiana Code. Professional misconduct would be something more likely linked to, the Indiana rules of professional conduct in regards to attorneys. Completely different standard of review. Mr. Friedman has evidenced himself to be a walking, talking conflict of interest. Plaintiff has been shown, or defendant claimed that plaintiff has been shown to be unethical and unscrupulous in his dealings with LaPorte County. There are forces in our county that seek to use the county for their own personal gain, undermining its financial integrity and moral dignity. The most notorious example of these forces is attorney Shaw Friedman. Mr. Friedman's myriad conflicts of interest, how he recruits and trains candidates that are then beholden to him as county attorney, and how he basically runs the county through these operative henchmen to feather his own nest. You gotta love the way that Stabosz writes. It quotes very well in a lawsuit. It goes on to call County Commissioner Sheila Matthias and Rich Merzinski bagman for the county attorney. Anyway, it's getting interesting. As you can see, Mr. Friedman, though he is an attorney, didn't handle this himself. He even hired an attorney. He wants punitive damages for repeated false, malicious, and defamatory statements. He prays for the judgment of the court, compensatory and punitive damages, in such amount as shall be determined by the evidence. Anyway, the reason this is interesting is because Tim Stabosz, he used to be on the LaPorte City Council, and he's throwing the words free speech around quite a bit to sort of try to fight off the county attorney here locally. But he didn't understand what free speech was when he was on the city council. And he was all for the LaPorte City Council doing to me exactly what the county commission did to him, and that was basically told him to sit down and be quiet during public comment, because your First Amendment does not cover that. You don't have the right to make a public comment. You have the right to observe the public body and record. They can't kick you out for recording, but they can certainly tell you that you do not have the right to public comment. So Mr. Stabosz is, he's going pretty hard over all this, but he's kind of a hypocrite, and, his he's not really addressing anything but his political opposition, which he views as to be the Democratic power broker for the county. But he's not addressing any sort of, any kind of this perceived activity. He's not alleging any of it towards Republicans, even though there's more evidence of Republicans doing this right under his very nose than there is of County Attorney Shaw Friedman. Anyway, so just wanted to get this uploaded because we're going to reference it here shortly, and I wanted it available for anybody to look at for a little while prior to this next live I'm going to do tonight. That'll be it, though. Thank you much. Have a good one. Stay tuned.